Yeah, this whole idea of the black pill, which is that if you're not good looking enough, that there's going to be insurmountable barriers that are in front of you throughout life, or that it's impossible to be attractive to the opposite sex without having certain facial structure, or put another way, with a certain facial structure, you will be attractive inevitably. I disagree with that. I think black pill goes too far. I think red pill might be okay, which is like, we cannot follow the Disney model of what it takes to be attractive to the opposite sex. We can't just be the nice guy or whatever, be nice, be charming, and you will be attractive. There is more to it. Yeah, we should optimize the way we look and do our best to be our best physical self. But my experience in the world of attraction, in like studying PUA to a certain degree, is that a man's attractiveness to the opposite sex is certainly not exclusively based on the way he looks, right? Like I tell people all the time in one-on-one chats, you could be the best looking guy, but if your behavior is weak, if your personality is soft, you're not going to be attractive. Male attractiveness to the opposite sex has to do with it, to the way you look to a certain degree, but it has a huge component of it is your personality. And any guy who does not have perfect facial structure can boost the personality side of the equation and become more attractive. And there's a whole, the whole PUA world, and I'm not talking about PUA and pickup lines and shit, that I'm talking like developing yourself to be a better person, bringing value that's not just physical, being a person who offers value in the world, right? Through your career or through your personality, bringing a sense of humor, bringing a sense of confidence. These are all things that can, objectively speaking, make you a more attractive male. So, yeah, this idea that male attractiveness to the opposite sex is exclusively to do with facial structure or, gym maxing, I'm calling bullshit on that, and I always have. So that's another issue that I have with those communities.
Can I ask you, like, when you see the demographics for, like, the channel viewership, I've noticed my skews, like, way male, like a crazy amount male, to the point where it's surprising where when you see a woman talk about, and it's like when a woman enters the conversation. And it's kind of surprising because you would expect for this sort of topic, like, to be maybe more woman-dominated, because beauty and makeup and things like that are clearly woman-dominated subjects. But what's been your experience, like, in the demographics that you've seen for your memberships and stuff like that? Or, like, people on calls?
Oh, man, if you go to my YouTube studio analytics, it says 100% male. So my demographic is primarily males, 25 to 35, but then there's some males 15 to 25 and some males 35 to 45. And then, it's progressively less and less the older you get. Now, my chats are probably 80-20 men to women. So probably one in every personal chat that I do is a female, which disagrees with my YouTube analytics, which is telling me that 100% of my audience is male. So there's some disconnect there between the analytics and the actual viewership. But yeah, it's overwhelmingly young men.
Yeah. I do think that there's maybe girls just sign up. Maybe they'll leave a comment in the thing like that. No, they probably won't, because like maybe they just sign up as male because that's just a better thing to do on the internet. Yeah, and I think I don't know if it's necessary to give advice, but like I would encourage the young men to not only talk to young men about this topic. Like you can talk to girls about the topic, and they'll probably dispel black pill type stuff. Black pill's definitely too far. If you're black pill, you need to not be. Simple as that. Like you need to not be.
Yeah. To put it simply, I've always recommended a balance between the PUA inner game type discussions and jaw hacking, right? Like, yes, optimize your physical appearance, but also optimize your personality development. PUA has always had this idea that, and I remember distinctly from a company called RSD, Real Social Dynamics, They've since transitioned to more of like a coaching company, like life coaching, business coaching type stuff. But they used to be pure PUA. Maybe you're familiar with RSD?
Yeah, Tyler RSD. Yeah.
Tyler, yeah. I've met Tyler twice at like RSD free tour events when they came to Boston. So yeah, Tyler has always made this point. Like sometimes the shortest guys, like because this idea that short guys are unattractive, right? And in the looks maxing forums, you get guys who are considering doing leg lengthening surgeries to make themselves a few inches taller. This idea that you can't be attractive unless you're, 5'11" or taller. Tyler made this point like 10 years ago. Sometimes short guys are like the center of attention and the most attractive guys in the room. Why is that? Because their physical appearance, their lack of physical attractiveness has forced them to up other qualities of their being to make up for what they lack in the physical. And it's possible to augment your personality, your sense of humor, your charisma, your charm, your personality to such a degree that you still become the most attractive person, even in the absence of physical characteristics that are objectively good looking, like jaw structure or whatnot. And since I heard that 10 years ago, I've looked for that in the environment. And I've seen it 1 billion times. So it's a fact that attractiveness is not just about how you look. You can up your personality to make yourself more attractive, and it's a huge blind spot of the black pill community. But you know why? Because it's hard. Developing your personality is not as simple as going to an orthodontist and getting an MSE or getting a double jaw surgery. It actually takes real work, Mewing can too, and jaw hacking obviously takes real work too, but inner game development is a multi-year process, and it's like, it takes soul searching, and it takes a different kind of work that's a little bit less transparent, so.
Yeah. I hope people come on through to the other side of that, because it ends up being a lifelong. Like in a way, it's beautiful. If you went down into like this valley of despair and came out on the other side, like a lot of people do, realizing that it's becoming like your authentic self. And I won't digress too far onto this, but like
sure.
That's why Tyler RSD like went over into like life coaching, and this ultimately ends up being life coaching at the end of the day, because it's just being authentic to yourself. And the same way with the reticular activating system, that like, when you go out there, like the biggest solver for like these sort of pills is the more you get out there, the more you'll notice, the stuff that they talk about on lookism. But if you start to look for exceptions to that, you'll notice that they're not really exceptions. Like it's not been like the tallest guys I know are the best with social status or women or anything. Like it's been guys shorter than me most of the time. Or like even shorter. So like, if you actually get out there and have a look around, and be willing to wipe your glasses, so to say, like to not look through that sort of lens, and just look with fresh eyes whenever you go out, you're gonna notice things are not bad. And that goes with everything. That goes with the news. That goes with a lot of stuff that we consume through the internet. Like, get off the internet is a really good way to get better.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.